never in a million years did I think that Russell T Davies would return to Doctor Who. And it's happening. It's crazy. It's big. It's amazing. And it came out days after Conor and I had recorded this episode. So unfortunately, we don't address this big, massive thing in this week's show. We'll talk about it in next week's program when we do A Town Called Mercy. I just wanted to address that because I feel like it would be weird for you guys to go into this episode probably expecting us to talk about this huge news. But that'll have to wait till next week. So sorry about that one. Yeah, that's great though, isn't it? He's back. He's returning. He's back. Russell T fucking Davies is back. Let's get on with the show. Tonight, on a very special episode of the 50% Doctor Who podcast, Aiden and Conor go. I don't know where I'm going with this. Conor and I are talking about our backstory this week. Woo!
Oh yeah,
it's the origin.
What's this, our
story
origin
episode.
story? Yeah, that's what you called it
incredible.
before. Sure it is.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got an origin, and this one is ours.
That's right. It ties directly into the episode we're reviewing today. That's why we've saved it for so long.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship. Wow.
Oh yeah, what an episode! What a title!
What a... Yeah, arguably the title is more intriguing than the episode.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything? There's nothing particularly who related that's happened this week, has there? It's been pretty quiet in terms of news.
There's been a promo pic of Jodie going around, but that's like standard AF. It's just the same costume, nothing changed really. And then there was this villain image that was circling around Twitter. That looked pretty cool.
That's right.
That looked pretty cool.
It was part of Find the Doctor.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Yes, Find the Doctor.
I don't know if people actually solved Find the Doctor. There's people saying that it was actually some people had hacked the website and just
Jesus
gotten that off the website.
Didn't even solve it
because they were that desperate to find the Doctor.
Christ.
And so that's these videos where you see a shot of the mouth and a shot of the eyes or something. I don't know. Something
I think it
silly.
looks good. I think it looks scary, which is awesome. I think when you're a young kid, stuff like that's scary. I was saying the other day, a thing that I really like about Chibnall's era is that the villains are scary, and if you were a kid, that would really spook you out, which I think's awesome, and I think that's what a Doctor Who villain should be. So to give it its props, that's really cool.
I don't know that they're executed too well, but just the designs alone, Tim Shaw, I thought was a great looking villain, and to be honest, I thought he was quite good in the first episode.
You like the teeth?
The Thagerians, the Thagerian hives things. That's the one from Demons of the Punjab. Once again, not really. They're okay in the episode, but could be used a bit better. But they look cool. That kind of samurai-esque look. That was pretty dope. Got the frog.
You got the frog. One of the worst executed ones is from was it Praxi 5 or something like that? Is that what it's called?
Orphan 55.
Orphan 55. Sorry, not Praxi. Yeah, those creatures looked awesome, but those were executed awfully. But they kind of reminded me of the
drag.
Weevils. Yeah, almost like the Weevils, the cool, really cool design. But yeah,
I don't know if you remember, but in the episode, a few episodes later, in Can You Hear Me, Ryan, they're showing everyone their nightmares or something, and everyone's got I think Graham's is he gets cancer back and shit like that, and then Ryan's is the Dreg.
Yeah, he just drew that. He's like, these fuckers are scary.
Fuck!
Dude, they are scary. Who is it that got taken? Was it Benny? Rip Benny?
Yeah.
Benny was a victim to those fuckers, and it wouldn't have been
pretty.
Benny! Benny! God.
Benny!
How the hell did we get to this? Benny! Oh god.
It's silly.
My lord.
It's silly.
Well,
did you wanna dive into our origin story then, straight off the bat, Conor? Did you want to go there?
Sure. So last week we spoke about where we were when Asylum of the Darks came out. Aiden and I were both in year 8. So
correct.
I'm not going to guess how old we were. We would have been around 14, 15?
I'm going to say 13, 14. Yeah, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Wait, it's 2012.
Yeah.
So that's 9 years ago. So probably would have been about 13.
Yeah, about 13. Makes sense. 13, 14-ish.
Or 12. Who cares?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then... So, Asylum of the Dark's aired, and then that aired on the Sunday for us, and on the Monday, we had to go on a school trip. And then it was like, of course, like every week, it's like a 7-day week until the next episode airs. And, so the next to come up was this episode, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Now, I remember personally feeling like, and I knew people who kind of watched the show, but weren't necessarily watching it weekly, or like weren't as big of a fan as I would consider myself to be. And that's okay, like, you can just watch the show and not, know every single tiny detail about it. That's completely fine. But, I never actually met someone who liked it as much as me, knew about it as much as me, like, knew tiny details, knew episode names by just mentioning them, like. And I thought I never would find that person, but we went away.
Yo!
We went away, and I can't remember where it was, but it was like in the middle of like the woods, and like there was this massive cabin.
Nanga Bush Camp.
That's it. Well done, Aiden. You remember the birthplace.
That's me. That's what I'm here for.
And I was just walking around, and I believe I was talking to our friend Meg at the time.
Correct.
And I was just wearing this t-shirt. My dad came back from the UK like a couple of months ago when this story was taking place, and he brought back this t-shirt for me. And it looks nothing...
Wait, hold on. There's... That TV show, why can't I talk? That t-shirt was the present that your dad brought you from the UK?
No. I got a couple of things, but he was like, I saw this at the shops, and I just grabbed it. I got a few things.
I was going to say, I was like, that doesn't remotely scream UK. I just got on holiday to the UK.
No. I got like, I think I got my first camera when he came back. It wasn't very good, but I got my first camera. Yeah, and cool. They also brought me back a Doctor Who box set, and I could pick the box set or the camera to open on my birthday, or straight when my dad came back. And when my dad came back, I was like, I'll have the box set now, and I'll open the camera on my birthday. So it was like a couple months away to like open the camera. But yeah, I also got like a shirt as well, which is the one I was wearing that day when we met. And again, it looked nothing like... In this episode, Amy's wearing like a blue and white striped, like almost jumper t-shirt. And again, this thing I was wearing was not even like the same length, like sleeve wise, and it wasn't even the same colours. The only thing that resembled it was that it was striped. So
yeah, it was blue and yellow, wasn't it?
It was blue and yellow. I still got it actually, I think, somewhere. I would never throw it out, but I kept walking around saying, this is my Dinosaurs on a Spaceship shirt, because I was like so excited for the episode, like,
and everyone in fucking year 8 is like, what the fuck is this kid on?
Pretty much.
Like, is Dinosaurs on a Spaceship t-shirt? What a fucking druggo. Like,
yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much my entirety of school until I met like you, and then eventually a couple of other people, including Dan stuff, was like fans as well. But I didn't know anyone who, like, seriously, for years I didn't know anyone. And then somehow I said out loud to Meg, she probably didn't even ask, but I was just like, this is my Dinosaurs on a Spaceship t-shirt. And then somewhere out the blue, this guy yells at me,
this ginger fuck.
What did you even say? What was it? Do you remember exactly what you said? Or
I don't know word for word, but I think it was like, wait a minute, did you just say Dinosaurs on a Spaceship? Just because this episode has such a unique, far-fetched name is the reason that we became fucking friends, Like,
you want to thank Chibnall for that.
It could have been, if you'd said like, oh, it's my fucking 42 t-shirt or something 42. Like that, I would have just been like, oh, that's just his 42nd t-shirt. That was a bad example, but you know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Because this name is so specific.
Yeah. And it just kind of happened. I mean, I'm not going to go out here and say, like, oh, we'd, like, never have met without it, because I'm sure our paths would have crossed at some point, and the word would have gotten out about how much we both loved it. But somehow, I mean, we were in different classes as well, so we never spoke. I didn't speak to you, like, at all. I may have passed you in the hallway at one point and gone like, hey. But like, we never spoke, like, at all. So to go from that...
Those were the days.
Those are the days. So, like, and then this guy, and like, we suddenly had like a massive chat about... Because Asylum had just aired, so we were just talking about that. We were like, bro, and I was like, yeah, bro, I stayed up. And you're like, hey, I was like really up early to watch it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And then to hear as well someone who knew the show as much as me, it absolutely blew my mind. Like, it really did. And it was the first person I ever met who, you know, had that knowledge of the show. So, yeah, it's a pretty funny story, actually. That's where it all started.
We all met through a t-shirt and a crazy episode of Doctor Who. I believe, though, we didn't... Like, we had a fat chat there, and then after that, I don't think we spoke for like a few weeks or anything until I bumped into you around school again or something, and I don't know that we immediately kept talking.
Yeah, I think there was, for some reason, in our old class, it was like a door dividing the rooms, and sometimes people would like chat at the door to different classes and stuff. And you would, like, sometimes talk to people that I knew, and I was like, oh, hey, man, did you catch the episode? And, like, we would, like, catch up here and, like, speak about the weekly episodes. But, yeah, we didn't really get that close. And then I became close again with Declan, who hung out with you a lot. And then Dan joined the group. And I swear, everything with Doctor Who is connected to me and my friends. Because the reason that me and Declan were very close in primary school... This is like Aiden and I's best friend during middle school and high school. But, you know, we were best friends in primary school, but we kind of drifted apart. And then, like, I got put back into a class with him in year 9. We hadn't spoken in years, and I was really nervous. And he broke the ice by saying, do you still watch Doctor Who? And I was like, hell yeah, man. And then, like, he was like, yeah, I've been watching it as well. And then Dan joined, and he'd been watching it. So we all kind of just found our way into a beautiful friendship by this show, which is amazing.
We'll tell the Dan story on Name of the Doctor, because that's how I became aware that he was into Doctor Who, and then that carries over to the 50th, which is where he and you first properly met, watching that. So maybe we'll have this as like a part 1 of 3, of telling the origin story of the boys.
The boys, yes,
the boys.
I believe
crazy.
I believe when you gotta remember those. There was a big, for everyone listening right now, there was a big gap between like these 5 episodes that aired, and then there was the Snowman, and then I believe that was all in a year, and then it wasn't until this is before Bells of St. John even aired, and by the gap between the Snowman and Bells of St. John was when Declan asked me if I was still watching Doctor Who, and he's like, yeah, I watched that Snowman one, and I was like, holy shit. So, yeah, and there was a massive gap between our friendship, Declan and I, so it all kind of put it all together. So, there's always those episodes I watch, and I'm like, you know, it kind of takes me back.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've said this on the show already, but me and Declan, when me and him first became friends, and he slept over my house for the first time, and he was saying how he's into... I must have been friends with Declan before, like... I started being friends with Declan before you had retouched base with him.
Correct.
Again, hey?
Yes. It was just happenstance you guys were so close that...
I started being friends with Declan in like year 8, just because he was in my class. And then, he slept over at my house, and we were talking about Doctor Who, and he hadn't caught up on the show since David left, I don't think.
Yeah.
So what we did in one night was I put in the season 5 box set, and we just went through discs through every single episode right up into the early hours of the morning until I fell asleep in Vincent and the Doctor, and Declan didn't know how to change the disc to put on The Lodger, Pandora Opens, Big Bang. But we watched the first 9 episodes of Series 5 in one night, and that was how Declan experienced most of Season 5. Yeah. So, that was crazy.
Yeah. There's always just an interesting story about that time, I think, in our lives and that series, and that's why I think 7 is so nostalgic, because, like, it brought so many people together that I don't think normally would have gone together at all, because just, again, we were all in different classes. I think Dan was in my class for a brief amount of time, but I wasn't close with him, like, at all. I couldn't stand Daniel, to be honest. as we'll get into later on. But it was it all brought us together, which I think is really beautiful. So that's why I'm so thankful for the show, and it'll always be my favorite because it just gave me so much. You know, as cheesy as that sounds.
All of those shows that were like airing around that time period, they come with such a nostalgia for me. Like Breaking Bad, it always just reminds me of like the summer of like year 9, year 10 kind of time. Same with The Walking Dead through like years 10, 11. Not so much anything season 6 onwards, but the first 5 seasons, especially seasons like 3 and 4. 100%. For me, like I haven't rewatched that show since I was properly into it, like 6 or 7 years ago or whatever. But I've been tempted to just revisit them first 5 seasons, just because for me, like that's the golden years of the show, but also like just so much nostalgia. I love that summer vibe. It feels very like, because it's so hot in the Walking Dead episodes. Like, sorry, this is a weird thing, but because it's always like summer, at least in the seasons that I've watched in The Walking Dead. Yeah, that it always reminds me of like when it was summer and we would walk home and watch the new episodes of The Walking Dead in summer. And same goes for Doctor Who. I remember you buying me the Series 8 Blu-ray because you're in the shop and they were in like nice packages, and you bought like 2 of them together or something, and then I like transferred you money for the other one or something like that.
Yeah, takes me back,
man.
You know, I actually just before I came on here watched the latest episode of Walking Dead. I've been watching weekly. Needless to say, it really is not that good. So it's the final season. I'm like, why don't they just go balls to the wall all out? Like, I don't know what that show is on at the moment, but either way, I just wanted to just remind you that I'm still. I haven't watched seasons like 7, 8, 9, and I watched a little bit of 10, so I haven't watched all of it. But it's the final season, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll watch it. But yeah, anyway, just thought I'd let you all know that lovely bit of knowledge that I'm watching The Walking Dead. Yeah.
That's lovely. We've also had the Emmys today. That was exciting. Good bit of fun. Bit of love for 2 of my favourite shows. Have absolutely sweeped with The Crown picking up pretty much every Emmy in the drama department, and Ted Lasso picking up a whole bunch in the comedy department. And so that's awesome. No Doctor Who rep in the Emmys.
Oh, why would there be with Peace and Love? I mean, like, I've watched all of season 1 now, Ted Lasso. I absolutely loved it. Yeah. I thought it was fantastic. It's
incredible.
I really, really, really liked it. So
how good's that ending without spoiling it?
Yeah,
that twist.
I like it because it's realistic. Yeah, it's realistic. I was like, oh, this is classic like TV, and then I was like, yep, this is realistic, and I really think it was ballsy they did that, and I really liked it. So
watch Ted Lasso, folks.
Yeah, I think you really should. It's really good. It's very good. It's very good.
Very good. Very nice.
Very good.
Very good. But yeah, no dinosaurs on a spaceship in the Emmys. I am afraid. R.I.P. dinos. Rip them dino boys.
Oh dear.
50% podcast.
Dinosaurs on a Spaceship is the second episode of the 7th series of the British science fiction television programme Doctor Who. It first aired on BBC One in the UK on the 8th of September 2012. The episode features alien time traveller the Doctor, Matt Smith, and his companions Amy Pond, Karen Gillan, and Rory Williams, Alpha Davil, accompanied by Rory's father, Brian, Mark Williams, Queen Nefertiti, Rhiannon Stelly, and John Riddle, a British big game hunter, Rupert Graves, also known as...
Hey, it's your boy... Lestrade.
Lestrade, the man.
Sorry.
I was going to end that myself, but I couldn't think of his name either. So.
Greg Lestrade.
Lestrade from Sherlock's in this episode. The group lands on a large spaceship that contains dinosaurs and discover that it is a Silurian ark. Though the Silurians have been murdered by Solomon David Bradley, a black market trader who is intent in finding something of value. Wow.
What are we going to do?
Wow. What a wild ride.
Sure is.
Going into this episode.
Yeah.
Back in 2012, you know. I know you were feeling amazing. You just met me, so you're obviously on top of the world. And
Yeah.
so, but in terms of what were you expecting out of this episode then? Were you excited? Because I, for one, I remember I wasn't that keen. I was like, oh, it's going to be a little kiddish one again. It's not edgy. It's not Walking Dead. It's not Arrow.
I was absolutely ecstatic. More than Asylum. More than Asylum.
Really?
100%. Yeah. I could not wait.
Oh.
I thought this episode looked so cool. I was like, what? All these characters. You know, just like... I just couldn't keep my excitement, you know? And I only remember today, which I'm really glad I remembered to bring this up. I was like so excited about Doctor Who being back on air, and I wasn't doing like YouTube videos at the time to memory. No, I wasn't. I used to write up reviews, and I called them Converse reviews, which is really cringy. But I'd write them up on Word, and I would like give reviews to the weekly Doctor Who episodes. And I think I got up to Town Called Mercy, and then I stopped. But I would just like give them to my mum, and like she would read them, and that was it. And I remember doing one for this episode and being like, "This is the best thing since sliced bread." I fucking loved it. I loved it so much that I made my parents sit down and watch it with me because I was like, "Bro, Doctor Who's so good these days. You watch this episode, you're gonna be tuning in every single week."
It's got dinosaurs. It's got Spaceship. Whoa!
Christ knows what they would have really thought. I think they were just being nice, but it actually continues. I remember when I said like when my dad watched Doctor Who in the Wardrobe, and it starts with the spaceship, and he was like, "No, I said start it from the beginning," or some shit like that. I was like, no, this is how it starts. This episode starts quite abruptly, and it kind of almost feels like you've started it like halfway through a scene. And the exact same thing happened, because it started, and he was like, wait, have we like missed something? Like, did it start in the previous episode? Like, did it end with a bit of a scene and then it starts with here? Or like, I was like, nah, that's how it starts. It's like, is it just me, or did you find the beginning really like choppy?
It's very choppy, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some interesting like shot choices in there as well, I think, that make it feel really choppy as well. Like, I don't know if the transitions between scenes are that easy.
Dude, so many
I've watched A Town Called Mercy, and I know there's a lot of zooms in that, which I'll get to when we talk about it next week. But I can't remember. It is it is in this episode where the Doctor like runs and it like zooms into him as a transition, and
yes.
it's so weird. It just looks odd.
Yeah, it's very choppy. It starts with Queen Nefertiti, which is kind of cool. And she's like really into Doctor and stuff. And then like for some reason he like gets it like plays like a text tone, and it's like his psychic paper. And it's like, oh, we better go sort this out. And it's so choppy, and it's just like, damn, you really do feel like you're missing something. I thought a cool thing I thought was really awesome in the episode was that like kind of like Indian unit. I thought that was awesome. Like that was like really sick to see like there was like more stuff like that on Earth that isn't like unit and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
But don't you think the production design, like the set design, looks just so bland? Like that, it looked like an empty, unlived in space, not like a military thing. I just thought it looked really cheap.
Look, I have to like preface this right now. I have like an unholy amount of nostalgia for this episode, and like stuff like that probably won't bother me as much this week, despite not really loving it on rewatch. I have an unholy amount of nostalgia for it, and all those sets and stuff, I just like kind of love, because it's just like it just takes me back. But yeah, you can definitely tell what you're saying. Yeah, you can definitely tell. We then get to see John Riddell, good old Lestrade. He's like this African game hunter. And he's like, "Yo, I got this thing. I need you to help me with it." And then we go to the ponds. Rory's dad's there. Brian, Big B, and they materialize around them, which is pretty funny. What'd you say?
I like he says something like about the fitting. He's like, "Oh, the bulb needs replacing."
Yeah,
and he's like, "No, it's the fitting." And then at the end, they do a callback joke to it.
They do.
It's quite funny.
Old Chibbers, you and your callback jokes. The materialised around us joke, he gets
good.
brought up again later as well, and I thought that was really funny when they're on the beach. When the Doctor keeps forgetting that, like, he materialised around them and stuff. And it's like, alright, good to see you again. It's been like 10 months again, which is ridiculous. The Doctor continues to leave massive gaps in between him seeing the ponds.
Just weird.
But yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not a fan how they keep doing big gaps. Like,
yeah.
And I've also noticed that they keep trying to really remind the audience that they're not properly traveling with the Doctor anymore.
Yeah.
Like, in A Town Called Mercy, there's another line as well where they're kind of like, oh, we're not traveling with you, you know, or something along those lines, and it's just a bit...
Yeah. I think the only reason they say stuff like that, like the whole... like, it was 2 years in fucking Doctor Who on the Wardrobe, and now it's been like 10 months. God knows how long it's been in asylum. I think they keep saying stuff like that because they're like trying to make the audience kind of justify
asylum
why
was
they
2
don't
years.
want to. Yeah, there you go. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like they're trying to justify again why they don't want to travel with the Doctor anymore, which I think is just like we get it. Like, we already understand. Like,
yeah.
What do you think about Dinosaur Boys chasing after everybody?
When they first come out?
Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
On a spaceship. That's fun. CGI held up surprisingly well, I thought.
Yeah, there's some cool practical stuff as well, which I always appreciate.
Yeah, the T-Rex lying on the floor later in the episode was very... I appreciate it being practical.
Yeah.
But I hated the scene, and then the fact that the practical effect wasn't really all that lovely, that kind of killed me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I get that. I still am cushioned by nostalgia a little bit. I do like the scene where the Doctor's like, "Oh, take us to the control room," and they get sent to the beach. Is this Bad Wolf Bay, and it's where they shot also Time of Angels? Because I noticed.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I
know this is definitely Bad Wolf Bay. I don't know if Time of Angels is, but yeah. Yeah, it definitely just looks the same. It looks like every bloody British beach.
Yeah, literally.
It's all just rainy. Okay, this is where my first sort of problem with the episode was. I was kind of fine up until this point. I was like, yeah, it's a bit of fun. And it works as a good gag. But there's a few times where Chibbers, this episode, he sort of uses a joke to disguise a plot convenience. Like, because you know how he pulls out the shovel, and he's like, everyone must carry a shovel, and he starts digging it up, and then they're like throwing humorous dialogue around, and it is quite funny. But if you think about it, it is just hiding the fact that they needed to dig into the sand to see that it was a metal floor. And so Brian has a shovel. It's there's a few things like that in this episode. Like later on as well, when Lestrade steps over the T-Rex, and I'm like, why did you not walk around it? Like, why? Genuinely, why are you stepping over a T-Rex? It fucking baffles me.
Isn't it a raptor?
I thought it was a baby T-Rex.
Oh,
the
okay.
Raptors look different.
Fair enough.
Because he like turns around.
Yeah, I'm not that scene.
They go back the way they come, but then they hear a roar and they're like, oh no, we can't go back. But I'm like, you can go back far enough just to step around the T-Rex. Like, you don't have to step over it, you plot convenient bastard.
I love that. The hardest I laughed. Well, I didn't really laugh actually, but I was like, "That's funny." When Brian's like freaking out and stuff on the beach, and then the Doctor's like, "Why'd you bring him then?" And Rory's like, "I didn't." Like, that delivery was so funny. Like, they both did it so well. I didn't.
Yeah. Rory and the Doc are really good this episode. I always like having them two together. I wish we had more of that because, I just wish we had more Rory. Like after The Girl Who Waited, how good that was, and then seeing him get a little bit of stuff on his to be independent this week, I think was quite good. I wish we had more.
Well, you know, only as much as you can get with a Chibnall script, but. What really took me out of the episode was it's just clearly a beach. Like, it's so obviously a beach. It's just massive. This massive beach that we're supposed to believe is on this ship somewhere. Just not believable. Like, they could have easily have, like, CGI'd like a bit of a force field around, like almost to make it look like it was smaller and like more like enclosed and stuff. But we're supposed to believe like it literally goes down for miles, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess it's on this ship. Which, by the way, I love the design of the ship, of the little ship they're on. I think it looks awesome. I really love that. Yeah, always love the design of it. Got to give them props for that.
Do you think the pterodactyl knockoffs that are in this, because they're not quite pterodactyls, they're like thestrals or something, I don't know. Right. Do you think they used them because they already had them in the CGI bank from the season 6 finale?
Most probably. And also I think it made a really good trailer shot as well.
That's true.
Because I remember everyone was talking about those shots specifically, like, wow, that looks awesome. And everyone was like trying to guess what episode they were from and stuff. And most probably Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, everybody, just in case.
Okay.
You're a bit confused.
So I just had a look. Because when I was watching the episode, the Velociraptors come in later on. And I was watching it and I was like, they look like the exact same design from the raptors in Primeval. Mm-hmm. And I've had a look, and the Mill, who do the CGI for Doctor Who up until Day of the Doctor, up until Name of the Doctor, technically, they also did the CGI on Primeval. So they might actually be the same design, and they just sort of pulled from their bank of dinosaur skins, I guess.
I was going to say, wasn't Primeval ITV?
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised. But I guess they just were allowed to do that.
Crossover
saves
episode.
Money, so
yeah.
Whoa,
true.
Yeah, look, so we've got old dates. The gang are like the gals in Lestrade. Mm-hmm. They find out the Silurian.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
It's a Silurian. I thought that was a nice twist. It made me also think I'm surprised Chibnall's not done anything with the Silurians in his time on the show because.
Well, till now.
Till now at least. But because his last 2 stories have been Silurian based or Silurian influenced at least.
Yeah.
And he's not done that. There was a Silurian gun in the
True.
What was it called?
Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror.
That one, yeah. Which I quite like from memory. And
me too, yeah.
Yeah, the shapeshifter has a Silurian gun, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a good twist. I thought it makes sense because why wouldn't the Silurians send something, an arc off world when the end of the world's about to happen or whatever?
Yeah.
So
I thought it was really cool. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Interesting that they reused the same actor.
Yeah.
Which they do a few times.
Yeah, because he was also in Wedding River Song.
Was he?
Yeah, he plays. He's like playing the Doctor that's like attending to Winston Churchill.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
True.
To be fair, it's the only Silurian you get to see in the episode, despite them having quite a large presence as just a species, which is interesting because like you'd have to have like the knowledge of like the last episode they were in. But I think it's interesting. I think it was fun. It definitely got me as a kid. I think it's a cool twist. It's not necessarily one you could see coming just because it's like pretty far fetched to even believe for a second that like that would even happen. Like it's I mean. There's a difference between like a really cool twist and like a twist that no one's gonna see coming because it's just like, do you know what I mean? It's just like why would that happen? But I think it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel when you were watching this episode, and I mean this in the most like undickish towards the current era of the show way, but did you feel that you were watching a Chris Chibnall episode?
That's what really shocked me the most. I think. This is definitely my favourite of his. I mean, I haven't rewatched Power 3 in a while, but I don't think it's going to change. I've always liked it, and no, I really can't say it does feel like an episode that he would write. I mean, obviously there's the countdown, and he's notorious for countdowns and stuff, and it's not perfect, but I really do think it's fun, and I think there's a lot of characters in it, and that's to its detriment sometimes, but I think it's fun, and I think it mostly works. I mean, I think there's definitely for me, the second act really slugged quite a bit, but I think the first act and the third act for me, I thought were really fun. And normally I'm watching a triple episode, like just hoping it ends, but this I found quite bearable, and just it was not perfect, and I really don't think it's anything to really marvel about. But one thing I found was it was just really fun, you know, and it was just to have like Rory's dad and stuff, and have like a Game Hunter and Queen Nefertiti, and also Rory and Amy are split up. It's just a cool dynamic with and David Bradley's in it, which is cool. Like, there's a lot of people that like rock up who you're like, this is just really interesting to see, and like all in one episode, which surprisingly doesn't feel that overpacked. And I think one of the worst things Chibnall does at the moment is like overpacks these episodes and isn't able to write it very well. I think for the most part he did it quite well here, but that's just me.
Yeah, totally. So from a writing point of view, I guess the episode for me, the characters do get fleshed out enough, like, and I think they are quite good, and they're all quite fun. I think that all works really, really well. But the classic Chibnall thing, and because I don't mind the Chibnall era of the program, I just think it's fine. It's not great, it's not bad, it's fine. Mm-hmm. But the number one thing that takes me out of the episode every episode of the show is the dialogue, and that's what everyone says, because all the characters stand there and they just spell out everything that's happening. Like, you know, Jodie's like, oh, I've got to use the mirror to reverse the light, which is a direct, well, almost an exact line from Spyfall, when she could have just taken the mirror and reflected the light. She didn't have to say what she was doing.
Show, don't tell.
And exactly. Mm-hmm. And this episode does it, and it's aware that it does it so much that it makes a joke. But okay, basically, they go into the cave, Brian, Doctor, and Rory, and there's like that stomping. There's doo doo, and Rory's like, oh, there's something coming towards us, and Brian's like, oh yeah, way to spell out the obvious or something, and then Rory's like, yeah, and sorry, it's just like dumb. Like, there's just all these dumb comments of, it's coming towards us. Yeah, it's getting closer. Yeah, way to spell out the obvious. Yeah. And then, even after they make a joke about spelling out the obvious, like, Brian's last line is, it's getting closer. And I'm like, you can hear it getting closer. Like, and you're making a joke out of it, but now you've finished the joke, and you're still just spelling out the obvious for us. And I was listening throughout the whole episode. There's tons of bits of dialogue that are like that, and it's, like, unnecessary, and it's... It's very painful, but beyond that, it's definitely a fun episode. I agree. There's a lot of fun to be had with the script and execution. Just bringing Brian in was such a joy. I love how there's not a reference, at least in this episode, to where Brian was at the wedding. I like how they kind of realized they fucked up and didn't give these characters any family.
I know, like Mel's and stuff had the same stupid, like, response. Oh, I don't really do weddings, and I don't think... but I think you're right, though. I don't think they addressed where Brian was, but... Yeah, I get what you mean, though. And I think, please, I know there's so many fans of Peep Show out there. Please do not get mad at me if I'm wrong about this. But I'm pretty sure that both the robots are voiced by the two blokes from Peep Show. Please don't kill me if that isn't true, but I think that's true. Which, again, leads me to keep saying about this episode. One thing I think it does well is it has a lot of big people in it. Like, it's got a lot of guest actors who I think do really well, and it has a lot
David
to juggle.
Mitchell, who is a voice of Robot 1, is from Peep Show.
Oh,
and
thank God.
And Robert Webb, who is the voice of Robot 2, is also in Peep Show.
Hey!
There you go, fact checks.
Hey, no hate for Conor today.
Conor was right, he knows his stuff.
Thank you. Peace and love.
Woo.
Do you like the robots? Because they're pretty annoying with peace and love.
I hate them as a kid, but I just thought their dialogue was kind of funny.
Yeah, dialogue's just stupid, but it's the point, I guess. But yeah. They do kill a Triceratops later, so they're not exactly, like, completely... like, useless.
Scene fucks me off. We'll get there, but that scene fucks me off. What did you think of Solomon, the man who's looking for the Doctor?
You mean Filch? Good old Filch.
No, I mean William Huntle.
I just realised now, and not the first time either, but just from like, I can't speak to that. I'm sorry. obviously I knew this before, but I've just remembered again. This episode has 2 Harry Potter actors in it.
Yeah, it does too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remembered that when I watched it like ages ago, but now that just hit me again. Obviously, Brian plays Ron Weasley's dad, and Filch is the caretaker at Hogwarts. He's fine. For a juvenile villain, he's not too bad. I think it's a kind of interesting story. Amy kind of figures out the ship had been boarded before after they find out it's a Silurian.
That's a great scene.
And stuff. Yeah,
I enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually enjoyed the direction in this episode. Personally, I thought it was quite good at times. All the POV shots are really cool. There's a shot later on with like the Doctor's like putting his hand like a machine. It's like there's a lot of POVs, but I'm a sucker for POVs, so I think there was a bit too many. It was a bit overused, but I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, his character, it's okay. He gets like his leg's been like mangled up by a couple of raptors, and he's pretty much just like trying to sell as much shit as he can. And I love how the Doctor gets scanned, and then he's like, "What's that?" And Solomon's like, "Oh, it's nothing. Just ignore it." And the Doctor's like, "Oh, okay," and then just continues to walk around and doesn't give a shit. And I'm like, "Bro, what?" And then like a couple of minutes later, it's like, "Alright, I scanned you, and this is how much you're worth." And obviously, because it's a Doctor, for some reason, scanners always struggle with him because he's a Time Lord. And it's like, okay, can't sell you, but I'm gonna fuck your life up anyway. Shoots Brian.
Well, I thought it was because the Doctor's been deleting himself from the universe. That's why they couldn't find him.
Maybe. Hey, look at you go. What do you think of that scene with Brian and Rory, with Rory carrying around his little nurse pad?
That was kind of cute, wasn't it? That's kind of cute. Yeah, I don't really have anything more to say on that. Sorry, it was fine.
When I'm running out of like breath and you take like a sip of my water, I always go, "What do you think about this?" My last little bit of breath. What do you think about this, Aiden? Go. Take it away.
Take over. Yeah. No. Look. No, it's fine. But okay. What was funny though that happened just before that?
My balls.
Was the Triceratops, going up to Brian.
My balls.
They're being like, "Do you have grassy matter in your pants?" My balls.
Just my balls.
Rory covers his eyes.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny shit, and then it licks his face. That's very funny.
Yeah, I do like that.
I'm a big fan of that.
Do you know what? I have quite a few goofs this week.
Do you now?
Including one of the golf balls. Yeah, I have quite a few. Surprisingly, I never really catch goofs these days. But I do, yes.
The only thing I noticed with the golf balls is that when he threw it later in the episode, it bounces like a fucking bouncy ball.
Yeah, that's my goof. That's one of my goofs. It's like, that fucker just keeps going. Like, and I guess because the shit's rotating, I guess it kind of... Like,
don't fucking reason for it, Connor.
No,
that's not a thing.
I wonder if you're on like an aeroplane and you place a golf ball on the floor, would it keep rolling? Do you know what I mean?
I reckon it would roll a bit, but it's not like when we stand up in an aeroplane, we don't get thrown to the back of the cabin. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I still reckon it would go the whole way. So maybe that's why the golf ball keeps fucking bouncing. That was my thing. Like, I love how it conveniently hits the wall and then like bounces off into a corner and then keeps going. This ball is unstoppable. It's just unstoppable.
Here's a neat moment of direction for you. I thought the exchange where the Doctor was talking to Solomon and it was coming out about how Solomon is like a slave trader, or whatever. He sells shit. He's a bad guy. The Doctor, he's in like normal, and then Solomon is in this red light. And throughout the conversation, as he's getting more and more, we find out more and more about how dark this character is. His face gets redder and redder until it's like completely blood red. Nice. And I thought that was a neat moment of direction, a little bit of symbolism through lighting, which you don't get a lot of in Doctor Who a lot of the time.
Yes,
but yeah,
good spot. I didn't notice that. Good spot. Yeah.
It was very good.
What do you think?
What did you think of riding Tricey?
I was about to ask the exact same thing. Yeah, it's
cool.
It's hard when you know it's about to get shot to death. But
I forgot that happened. But yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's nice. Looks a bit funny here and there, but you know, they use a bit of practical effects here and there. That's good. I always like to see that kind of shit.
Dude, them robots are like stormtroopers. Like the fact that they didn't shoot
my God.
either of the three of them was so dumb.
Dude, legit. But someone's like, "Yo, I don't want the Doctor anymore. You suck. All the dinosaurs. I want Queen Nefertiti." I'm like, wow, okay. It's like with Queen Nefertiti, like, you know, she kind of just gets brought along, and then like they don't really give her much to do. She's got a couple of like witty lines with Riddell, whatever his name is, and then you know, now it's like she's got a massive part to do with the plot. 'Cause it's like, I want her, and because she's like this massive part of history, and she'd be the best prize, the best loot to take, the most precious cargo to take.
Okay.
Doctor's like, nah, mate, nah, not happening.
Hold the phone.
It's hold. It's held.
It's on hold. So, this fucking guy scanned the spaceship, and the only thing that was so precious to him was Queen Nefertiti, which is fine, and it makes sense. But you know what else is on this ship? And actually, because we solved that problem because he can't. The Doctor's erased himself. He's deleted his internet history.
I know.
But actually, my first thought when rewatching this episode, when he was like, "I found something more precious," was the TARDIS.
A TARDIS, yeah.
The Type 40 TARDIS, and he was like something completely unique. And at this point in the show, all the TARDISes have been destroyed. So
the TARDIS, nah. Queen Nefertiti.
Unless the Doctor's like deleting his TARDIS as well as him, I don't know.
The TARDIS doesn't exist anymore. It's just a bit of wood.
The TARDIS is gone.
It just stands there, doing nothing.
So you're a bit of wood that just stands there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's like, yeah, give me Queen Nefertiti. He's like, nah, mate. And then it's like, I will now shoot this Triceratops. Dead. Gone.
That's so dumb. Like, if you want to do a real threat, why would you kill the Why wouldn't you go, I'll kill Rory? You know, I'll take Rory hostage or something like that.
I will kill all of you. Don't think I won't.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that part.
It does make me laugh at the end. Like, this massive... It shows in the episode how, like, uncontrollable, like, the dinosaurs are. Like, I could barely control the Triceratops except for the fact they had the golf ball. At the end of the episode, the Doctor's like, alright, time to go. Dinosaurs to drop off. Like, does he, like, escort raptors into the time? To be fair, I guess they're, like, stunned. But it's still dumb. Either way.
How do you think he dropped off the huge fucking dinosaurs that walked through the double doors?
Yeah, how can you get them through?
How did he get them in the TARDIS?
Doesn't happen.
Maybe he's got a garage entrance to the TARDIS or something.
A garage entrance, yeah, the back door.
Yeah.
Oh, God. See, this is us thinking too much into Chibnall episodes. For Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
But Queen Nefertiti gets taken.
She does.
Indian unit are like, alright, fuck you, we're going to send out some missiles, don't care if you're on it, it's pretty much about to hit the atmosphere. And send them up. And then, I kind of checked out at this point, but it's still kind of, it's like, so convenient that like, they're like, the Doctor's like, oh God, to use these controls, you need to have two people with the same, like, DNA.
Uh-huh.
Like, how convenient.
So bad.
How convenient that Rory's dad just happened to be there. It's just like, come on, that is just way too convenient. And you've never
any other episode
before. Literally,
this would be a problem.
They're dead. It gets blown up by missiles. It's ridiculous. It's just makes no sense.
There's a scene that felt weirdly personal for this episode, because even though I'm not a massive fan of this episode, I appreciate that it's just kind of a romp. You know, it's a standalone romp. There's a scene where Amy and the Doctor are talking, and it's like kind of a serious beat, and it was okay, but it just felt really forced. Like, the episode was building up, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, no, we need to settle down, because we need to talk about how Amy might leave the Doctor soon, and shit like that, you know?
Yeah, I felt like Moff was like, please put this scene in, because it's not a very big when well, it's not very. I shouldn't say season. More like it's not a very big part of the season because it's only 5 episodes, and they want to keep them very contained. I guess Moff was like, "Please put this in." But yeah, I totally agree. I guess there is a kind of cool nod to the fact that the Doctor does see them die technically, because it's like, "Oh, I'll be here to the very end," and then Amy's like, or maybe to our very end, and like the Doctor like pauses, and he's like, "Ugh." And it's like, yeah, pretty much is exactly what happens. So,
don't you feel like the scene would maybe have been a bit? I feel like this scene would be a lot more interesting if it was Amy talking to Queen Nefertiti or Lestrade about how she's thinking about leaving, and she's not brought it up with Rory or the Doctor yet. Yeah. And then in the Power of Three, when she actually does bring it up to the Doctor, it kind of maybe catches the Doctor a little bit more off guard and things like that. Maybe that. I feel like that would be a more interesting way of doing it, but that's just me.
There's also like a really cool line where like Amy thinks that Nefertiti and Riddell is like the new them. I like that. That was cool.
Yeah,
so I get what you mean.
That's like, crazy. Imagine if the Doctor fucking brought on like Winston Churchill and Rosa Parks as companions or something like that.
Well, who's the cave woman? What's her name?
Layla.
Yeah. It's stranger things have happened. You know.
Yeah,
it's a bit whack in the classic era.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember they were going to have, was it Tibbers the cat or something? That was like rumored,
something like that.
It was rumored that there was going to be a cat walking around the TARDIS.
In Series 11, it was rumored that there was going to be Percy the cat.
That's it, Percy. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. Oh god.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, you know, Jacob made a really good point. It was pretty this week. It's like no one really talks about how the Doctor just like lets a man just die because like the missiles get set on what's the fucking twat's name again? I forgot. But
Solomon Grundy.
Simon Grundy. It gets set on Simon Grundy's ship, and then just gets blown to smithereens, and the Doctor kind of lets it happen. R.I.P. Until he comes back and plays the First Doctor in several bits of media. Not the first time, not the last time.
That was, it was an interesting ending. I don't know how much I bought into a lot of the stuff that was happening because so much convenient stuff had got them to that point. Yeah. And I feel like Chibnall doesn't know who he wants the Doctor to be because in the Silurian two-parter, he's all like, the Doctor stood there like, we have to be better than them.
Figure it out.
And in this one, he's like, he deserves to die.
I had no choice. The timer was running out. What would you have done? What would you have done?
I would have said, Solomon, fuck you.
Okay.
And then he would have gone, and then he would have gone, alright, sorry champ. And then he would have fucked off.
Yeah, good point. I'm just going to go now. Thanks, Aiden.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Chibnall. See, Chibnall makes you think about episodes after they air. You know, you can't say that about a lot of writers, but he definitely does. This is when the Doctor's like, oh, we've got to go put some dinosaurs back, and Rory's like, actually, we want to go home. And the Doctor's like, oh, yeah, I'm really busy too. That Sour Patch type shit. Like, no, what?
Yeah,
I didn't mean go home with you. I'm busy as hell. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Get out of my ship, bitch. Get out.
Get out, hose.
There's a lot of... There's two penis jokes. Because Riddell's like, you need someone with a big gum. And then in the final scene, we get to see Nefertiti coming out of Riddell's tent. And she like cocks the gun. Implying a few things, kids.
Ooh, yeah, baby. I never picked up for that. That's funny, though.
Oh, how funny is... two things. I think Brian eating his like lunch outside the TARDIS was really cute. I thought that was
I was about to say that, yeah.
Surprising didn't actually even look shit. It actually looked really nice. And there's a beautiful shot with Amy, Rory, and the Doctor kind of like peeking through the door as well, which they used in a few trailers, I think. But yeah, it looked really sweet. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, I like that. And then bloody they're getting postcards from Brian.
Yes,
which is fine. Brian's learned he's had a character arc. He's off for some adventure for the first time in his life.
Yeah,
but why does he send a postcard? And I know this is one of those things when, you know, you can be thinking into it too much, but it is just a little... Yeah, he sends a postcard from Siluria. Do Silurians make postcards is A, for my first point. B, the Silurians are all, like, asleep underneath the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And C... no, it's dumb. That's C. It's dumb. It's silly.
It is. It's really bad Photoshop. Like they always do when they're trying to show characters traveling around the world. We had it in Christmas Carol, and we're back at it again.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it was definitely something. Yeah. It wasn't good.
It was something.
I think it's fun. And we're going to see Brian again, which I think is sweet. And it's pretty soon. It's like not next week's episode, but the week after. It's written by Chibnall again, so I'll be interested to see how connected this episode is if they kind of like bring it up and stuff. But yeah, very nostalgia heavy episode for me, which I think definitely makes me be kinder about it. But I feel like if that wasn't the case, I don't think I'd like it much at all. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't have much nostalgia for this episode. I just sort of took it as it was, you know, like some of the sets were really nice, some of the sets were a little empty, and there's the set where Amy, Nefertiti, and Lestrade found that the Silurians were on the ship. That was cool. Here's a thing that we skipped over. How grim is it, the fact that Solomon just threw out all the Silurians at the fucking airlock? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? But to be fair though, like, apart from like Vastra, like Silurians are never really used or really seen again. So like, it's definitely a bit gruesome. But,
they won't be seen again because they're all dead.
Pretty much,
they're all just dust.
Pretty much. I do like how the Doctor says though, like the Silurians are quite a kind race. Like they wouldn't have like defense mechanisms on their ship. I like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a cool little cover up to why they couldn't just shoot the missiles and stuff, like in a Time Part 2 style. But yeah. They kind of they kind of went down that path, didn't they? With Brian and Rory, like when everything's coming together, and they're like, "Woohoo! I'm driving a spaceship. I'm flying a spaceship."
So silly, so dumb.
Yeah,
not a fan.
Shall
we move on to Australia's favourite segment, Connor?
Let's do it.
It's time for Go for the Week. Alright, baby, this is the segment where we talk about the goofs. I didn't see any in the episode myself, at least not that I remember. Connor, did you pick up on any particular goofs?
Why, yes I did, Aiden. I've already said one about the golf ball. Another one, which his thing. I don't know if this is a goof. It's kind of like a half goof. It's a go. It's a go. I don't know if it's a full goof. It's a go.
It's a go.
It's a go. Either I don't think Rory has spoken about his dad much. I'm just guessing here. I don't even know if he said his name, but Brian is like on the ship, and then like he comes out, and then obviously the Doctor's like, "Who are you? How did you get on here? Do you think you could sneak past me?" And then Rory's like, "Oh, it's my dad." And he goes, "Oh, hi, Brian." And like he knows his name. I kind of got the impression, because since we haven't even heard about Rory's dad before, this was the first time that the Doctor ever met him. And it just leads me to believe he wouldn't have known his name. But I could be completely wrong. But like he did know his name without showing that he'd like had any previous meetings with him or heard anything about him. But yeah, it's a go. I don't know if that's fully true, but I did think about that when I saw the episode. But yeah, that's my second one. I know that one's a bit how you going, but you know. Yeah,
a bit how you going. No, I get that.
But my next one is a perfect goof. But yeah, sorry, we're gonna say.
Go on. No, I thought you were done.
I got one more. One more.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't notice this, because you always pick up on this, and you literally just spoke about it. On the Siluria postcard, the TARDIS is the PNG from Tennant's era. Again, it hasn't got the...
I just read that,
the crest.
literally as you were talking.
It hasn't got the crest. It's the classic PNG from fucking Tennant's era.
The season 1 TARDIS PNG.
The season 1. It's not even Tennant, it's fucking Eccleston. They used it again. They didn't think we'd notice, but we did. Come on.
Dude, that PNG is like a Satan in the Doctor Who community. Like, people just take the piss out of it all the time just because of how much it got used and abused. So funny.
Even in Jodie's reveal video, they fucking chopped it on there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that was so shit, wasn't it?
Why? Why do that?
Man.
You're killing me. God's sake. That's all I got. That's all I got, though.
Damn. That's alright. I got some here. From TARDIS Wiki. The Doctor's socks consistently change from a stripy blue sock to his normal black socks.
Oh, no.
That's so silly. When they first land the TARDIS on the spaceship, only the windows at the door are lit, whilst the ones on the side are not given any lights. That's so silly. The flying dinosaurs, the name's wrong. They're identified as the Doctor by pterodactyls or something, but they're actually pterodons or something. I don't fucking know. They're wrong, basically. Shots of the TARDIS and Solomon's ship next to the Silurian Ark show it is nowhere near the size of Canada, which is what it's said to be.
Yeah, true. So the size of Canada.
True. When Amy is at the Silurian console, she picks up a small flat white disc. However, when she inserts it into the console, it is spherical. Interesting. Interesting. The first shot of the Earth, while Brian is having lunch at the TARDIS doors, is flipped. Spain is to the east, and Saudi Arabia is to the west.
My thing's flipped.
Fucking hell. Stop saying that shit. But yeah, that's it. That's it for goofs. Not much happening there over in the goofity doopities of the week.
It is what it is. It is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Shall I move on to Australia's second favourite segment?
Go on.
It's time for Behind the Scenes. Alright, so the Doctor claims to be a Sagittarius, right? But he does say probably. But interesting enough, November 23rd, obviously the anniversary of the very first episode of Doctor Who, is a Sagittarius date. You know, like if you were born on that date, you would be a Sagittarius. So that's interesting. Yep. I wonder if that was intentional.
I know, I kind of... Yeah, I did think of that. I didn't know what to think of it, though, to be fair.
So, in a moment of excitement, the Doctor kisses Rory on the mouth after Rory suggests checking if the Silurian Ark has defense systems. This is the second same-sex kiss featured in the series, and the first initiated by the Doctor. The first kiss was between Captain Jack Harkness and the 9th Doctor. So that's only the second same-sex kiss, and I believe we don't get another one until Deep Breath, I think, and that was a big deal because it was the first lesbian kiss, I believe.
Correct.
Interesting. Did you like the scales on the Doctor Who logo?
No, I think it's horrendous. I think this... what have they done to the titles? It looks so gross.
It looks disgusting. It has not aged well at all.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I think it looks fucking awful.
Yeah. Mark Williams, who plays Brian Williams, he previously has played Maxwell Edison in a Big Finish audio called The Eternal Summer.
Okay.
So that was before he did this.
Wait,
yes,
his last name's
confirmed.
Williams. He's playing Brian Williams?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The TARDIS Wiki also confirms that the CGI models of the Raptors are the same that were used in the show Primeval, so that's great.
Look at you go.
Loved that show as a kid. Great show. I know Primeval Velociraptors, what can I say?
Yeah.
The costumes for Robot 1 and Robot 2 were remodeled from ones used in CBBC's Mission 2110, so these were from a CBBC TV show.
The old scrap bin.
Yeah, I know, right? The classic BBC having no money and going, what do we have in the costume department?
What do we do?
which is fair enough.
It happens.
With this story, Rory became the only individual known to have travelled in the TARDIS with both his own parent and own child.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go. That's it. That's it for TARDIS Wiki.
TARDIS Wiki.
TARDIS Wiki. Which means it's the time for our final segment of the day, folks. It's time for Just Twitter Tings. That reminds me, I do have a bit of a, not an announcement, but a bit of a little message thing to say after this. So remind me of that, Connor, because if not, I will forget.
I'll try.
You fucking better, bitch.
Thank you.
So, we, Just Twitter Tings is when we ask you guys what you guys think of the episodes. We got a few responses here this week. Firstly, from the Doctor Who show, they say, premise-wise, before viewing, I thought this would be cheesy as fuck, and another lame story for Smith. What I found was a lot more. It's still largely a romp, but it's on the right side of the fun ledger. And that ending, Smith killing Solomon, helps even out the overall tone for me. Interesting. So the Doctor Who show likes the darker twist of an ending.
What do you know?
Interesting. Dylan says, it's insane to me that Chibnall managed to flesh out 3 new characters within the space of 45 minutes, but can't flesh out his own companions within the space of 2 series. I agree. The best thing about this episode is its title, and if I want to see dinos interact with people, I'll just watch Jurassic Park or Primeval. Which is totally true.
Fair enough.
I love Primeval. We all love Primeval by the sounds of it. Now that's what I call comedy podcast says, this episode has dinosaurs on a spaceship, and the most insane part is the Doctor being a murderer. Which is, true, like you said. It's very true.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It happens.
What's happening over on Instagram, Connor?
Alright, Dinosaurs and Spaceship Review from Jacob Hind. This is the best shit episode, which says a lot about his current era. I agree. This episode is the fun. This episode is the fun. I guess he meant. I guess he meant just. I cannot speak. I guess he meant to just put this episode is fun. That's okay. And you can switch your brain off. The supporting cast are great, especially Rory's dad. The 2 robots are great, and the villains work well, even though the Doctor brutally kills him. Funny. 7 out of 10. What's your favourite dinosaur? Probably pterodactyls. Always love those. Question. Always love pterodactyls.
I've always, and I think this maybe comes down to Jurassic Park being my favourite
here we go.
movie as a kid. Huh?
I'm like, here we go. Gone.
Fuck you. Velociraptors, I think, because they were done very scarily in Jurassic Park, and I always enjoyed them in Primeval as well. And there is actually a homage to Jurassic Park in this episode, actually. Did you pick up on it?
Was it John Williams' score?
No. There's a scene
where... You're like, no.
Not even funny. Don't joke about Jurassic Park, Connor. There's a scene where one of the characters they're like going to go one way, and then they see on the wall the shadow of a Velociraptor, which is from the first Jurassic Park film. That happens there. So that was a little homage. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I did not catch that.
Well, you obviously weren't watching good enough. How about that?
Probably. That does sound like me.
What did you say your favourite dinosaur was?
A pterodactyl.
Yeah, they're cool. And they're really spooky in Jurassic Park 3, actually.
Yeah,
Even
that's
though
true.
It's a shit movie.
That's true. I like it. I like Vince Vaughn running around.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun, but it's not.
It is a bit of fun.
But it's like a bit of. It's a good action. Just
something about Vince Vaughn and a little girl
sequences.
doing gymnastics and kicking dinosaurs in the head just makes me laugh every time.
Yeah. So dumb. So dumb.
Alright. I put on Instagram thoughts on dinosaurs in a spaceship. Okay. Shane put, love it, so much
It's
fun.
not even that funny.
What?
What you're
What is
laughing
it?
at?
What do you mean?
You were laughing for like 2 minutes.
Shut up. Alright. I tried to fucking read Instagram, you twat. I wasn't even laughing anymore. Alright. I was reading Shane's review. I wasn't even laughing. Fuck you. Alright. Love it. So much fun. Think the characters are fun. The sets look good. Few cringe lines, but funny lines. Yeah, I agree. That's really good. James Dowan put, it's bad. And,
That's it.
That's it. And my girlfriend, who hasn't even seen the episode, said, with a title like that, amazing. There you go. That's all I got.
It's, you know what this episode really is?
Shit.
It's it's exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Quite literally, there's no more substance to this than the fact that it is dinosaurs on a spaceship. And that's fine, but it's going to be something a bit more. Give me something so much more. We have 2 episodes here that are just like so full of, just so lacking any depth and substance. So thank God next week it gets a bit better.
You'd hope so.
I know so.
Oh, a bit of a tease for next week.
Bit of a cock tease.
Oh, you have to say something.
Balls.
I nearly forgot, but you have to say something.
Oh, so did I. Yeah, I nearly forgot as well.
No, I don't
so
have
I got
to
a
say
lovely
something, you
email
do.
this week, Connor.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm just trying to find it. I think it was from someone called Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Someone called Matthew. I'm just finding it. Just finding the email. But how has it disappeared? I don't get that many emails. Why is this happening?
I'm so confused. What's going on right now?
Okay, no. Alright, so I got an email. Alright?
Mm-hmm.
So, the email said, "Hi Aiden, I thought you might be interested in the attached press release about a Doctor Who book Kickstarter we are running." So I had a look at it, and it's pretty cool. So there's a fan-made Doctor Who book, right? And they're doing a Kickstarter to have it made. What it's called is Across Time and Space, a Doctor Who companion. And it says, all 852 episodes reviewed in an epic 800-page book with an intro from Daniel Hardcastle, a fan-driven, unofficial project. So basically, it's a book that it combines a whole bunch of Doctor Who reviews, I believe, and it's an unofficial book, not in any way associated with the BBC. This is a project by a fan for the fan community. We hope it will encourage some fans to follow Tony's journey and start watching all 852 episodes in order. Everyone that pledges for the book, they receive a few things. After each review, Tony has scored the story out of 10. There is also a space for readers to fill in their own scores. So it's just a book of this guy's review of all the episodes, I believe, which is just interesting. So if that's something that you're interested in, anyone listening, then go back it.
How did you get your email?
I assume just through the podcast.
Oh, do you put your email through the podcast?
Mate, I don't know. I assume so. I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, they just said, and then I just replied and I said I'll have a read of it. I'll shout it out on the next episode. So yeah.
Did he get back to you?
Oh, it was on embargo actually. So, but now it's off. That's cool. We've had our first embargo release. I might have just spoiled it for everyone, but don't worry. The embargo lifts on the 16th of September, so it's fine. We can talk about it at this point.
We can talk about it.
But yeah,
nice. So, that's cool.
Yeah,
Sweet.
It was cool. So if that's something, I know that was a bit of a scattered explanation of this book, but I will link it in the Spotify / just any podcast app show notes that you can see. And click on it, have a look, see if you want to back it. Just seems like a cool little project that our fans put together. And as this is a fan show, this is the Doctor Who fan show. God forbid with Crystal D. We like to support other people. So yeah,
D's nut. Yeah, correct. That is true. We do.
Crystal D's nuts.
Crystal D's nuts. God, people miss her.
Dude, it was kind of unfair how much shit she got.
100%. 100%. I feel so bad. Like, I mean, I never watched it, so I didn't really ever criticize it much, but some people were so mean about it.
Yeah.
People were, like, tweeting her, like, the special features disc on, like, the Blu-rays, and it was, like, snapped. And I was like, Jesus Christ, is that necessary?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, you can like something without fucking being horrible. Sorry, you can dislike something without being horrible. Like,
100%.
The internet. Welcome
People,
to
man.
the internet. Have a look around.
Welcome to the internet, bitches.
Yeah.
And I did just have a quick look to just see if there happened to have been a trailer dropped just to give us something to talk about. But no trailer. No trailer yet.
Must be November it's dropping then.
No, I reckon it's going to be October 24th or October 31st. Now, I would love it to be October 31st because I'm shooting from the 20th to the 26th of October. And so us finding a time to review that premiere episode is going to be tough on those days. So if it's the 31st, then that's great. I can start with a clean slate. I finished my shoot. I'll be happy, and we can just record it and get it out as soon as we can.
30 cursed.
But yeah, so hopefully 31st. And apparently, when they were shooting, there's been some shots of, I think like some pumpkins were out on a location, so that maybe indicates a bit of a Halloween themed episode.
Halloween episode, right?
Yeah, so that would be cool if it was like a premiere on Halloween.
Yeah,
and then,
that would be cool, actually.
Then what would happen? We'd have one on the 31st, one on the 7th of November, one on the 14th of November, one on the 21st of November, one on the 28th of November, and then one on the 5th of December. And then we'd only have to wait like 3-4 weeks for one to come through on January 1st.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is another little nugget of information that we got. It's all, not confirmed stuff, so you can't take it with a bit of a pinch of salt, but it is based off of something. So basically, the cinematographer, I think, of Jodie's second last special, which has been seen with some like Asian pirates or something like that. The cinematographer for that has put on their CV that they were the cinematographer of the Doctor Who Easter special, and then it lists the director, and this is a unique director that's only directed this one special. That is the second last special. So that strongly indicates that we'll have a special before Easter and then a special on Easter. Mm-hmm. So we'll have an Easter special, and then I'm guessing the one before that will then be a New Year's Day special. And then we'll have the centenary special in October, November time. So that's pretty interesting.
Certainly is. And I wonder if they'll start shooting a new season in that space.
They've got to. I hope so. Once again, we were talking about this a few weeks ago. Like, surely they're filming that special. They must have a new showrunner. They must have a new actor for the Doctor.
Who knows? Who fucking knows? Honestly, I wouldn't have a clue. It's so shambles. But yeah, I honestly I don't know. I feel like before we always knew he was going to take over. Not this time.
Yeah.
Not this time.
No siree. Not this time.
No siree.
The one thing that is cool that we're not spoken about on this show yet is that Unit, whilst not being confirmed to be back, there has been some set pics sort of leaking. So spoilers, I guess I've already said it. I don't care. This is set pics out all over the internet.
It's Unit. It's not a massive
and it's Unit. Yeah, it's not a plot point.
It's cool they're back, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. So the main photo that leaked was really, you could see when filming for the Centenary special. I think it was called Hodge's House or something they were filming at, and they seem to have been filming there for like 3 days or so, which is a pretty long shoot. So it must be a pretty significant set that they're shooting in there. And you can see in the main entrance that there's a big unit logo on the floor. So it looks like we've got a new unit HQ. The unit logo is slightly different, which is cool. And it looks like it's going to be a big part of the story because they were shooting there for so long. So that's pretty exciting.
It'd be cool if Kate Stewart came back.
I really hope so. She's been referenced in Chibnall's era before, so I'd be surprised if she didn't. And I really love her character. I'm really looking forward to Power of 3.
Yeah, I think it will really, like... It'll be a nice little connection to, like, the previous seasons as well, I think. You know? I think that'd be cool. Why not? Like, the Brigadier was with multiple Doctors.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, why not? Why not? Like,
she's in 2 episodes with Matt, and then she's in, like, 6 with... Sorry, 4? But it's two two-parters she does with PCAP, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool, you know?
That's cool.
Why not? Yeah.
Oh, and she does have one scene for some reason, in The Magician's Apprentice, doesn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she's briefly in Magician's Apprentice. Yeah, I forgot about that. Of course,
and it looks like she's just woken up and they've pulled at a set.
Yeah, just getting here, a quick little cameo. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool they're back, you know. I still don't get why they even took it away. Like, so it's good that they're back. I think it's going to help the show. I think it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very excited, to be honest.
Will be cool. It's so close. It's so around the corner, isn't it? New Who.
Yeah. It is.
So that's exciting.
It is, yeah.
Conor,
it's getting exciting.
What would you rate Dinosaurs on a Spaceship?
I would rate it a 7 out of 10.
Really? So you like this one
fun.
more than Asylum?
Kinda. Yeah. I think from like a fun aspect, yeah. Nostalgia aspect, yeah. I think so.
Hectic.
I mean, you know, I think it does something that a lot of channel episodes don't do, and that handles a lot of characters. We've got like Nefertiti, Riddell, we've got Rory's dad, we've got the 2 robots who are again voiced by 2 big British comedians. There's a lot of people in it who like people recognize and stuff, and then of course we've got Solomon stuff, and then on top of that we've got the companions, Amy and Rory, and the Doctor. It's a lot, and it all kind of works, I think. A lot of guest actors to see, which is really fun. And I think the setting is cool. For once, I think the countdown actually is quite exciting. I don't really like how Chibbers does that, but I liked it. And yeah, it's completely smothered in nostalgia for me. But I really like it. It's always one I look back on and think it's fun, but purely from nostalgia aspects, it's really not that great, but I think it's fun. So yeah, that's my answer for that.
Awesome. I don't really have any nostalgia for this episode. I just thought it was very convenient. Some of the sets are a bit shit. Some pretty decent CGI, decent practical work. The countdown, I don't know, didn't really work for me because I didn't really feel like the whole episode I was against the clock. You know, it just kind of felt like it was there, and when they needed to push things forward, they would push it forward with the countdown. And I quite like Solomon as a villain, and a few unique moments of direction I like in there. And I think Matt and Arthur in particular, and was it Mark Williams? Is that what I said his name was? Who's playing Brian? I thought those 3 were really good, and the robots were a bit fun. I think Chibnall balanced having a lot of characters, and somehow wrote them all pretty well, which was good. I'm going to give this one a 6 for me. Didn't quite hit the nail on the head for me, but I think it was just a fun romp that maybe lacks substance, and I think could have been taken a little further.
Awesome. Fair enough.
Yeah. What's up next week, Conor? What's the next episode?
A Town Called Mercy. Our boy, Toby Whithouse, is back at it again.
Woo!
It's a Western, baby.
Sure is. Yeah, I watched it this morning because I watched Asylum of the Daleks about 2 weeks ago. And that was because I usually try and watch them a week before. And so quite often my schedule is we record this at like Monday evening from between like 7 to 9. And then I'll go, after this, I'll be in a Doctor Who mood, so I'll go watch the next one. And that way I have like a week to kind of soak up the episode a little bit. And that's how I always know which ones that I like, because they're the ones that I think about a lot during that week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a telltale sign for me. With Dinosaurs, I was so busy last week that I didn't get to watch Dinosaurs until yesterday. And so they had like a 2-week gap, and I watched Dinosaurs, and the trailer for A Town Called Mercy came on, and I was like, I'm going to watch that tomorrow morning. So this morning I watched that. And then the trailer for A Power of Three came on, and I was like, I want to watch that. But I didn't. I fell off that.
Yeah, I literally watched Dinosaurs on the Spaceship like a couple of hours ago. I just just didn't fit it in somehow. And I was like, fuck, gotta do it today. I'm really glad we still haven't reviewed an episode and not watched the episode. I think it's really important that we rewatch it, and we haven't missed one. I haven't missed one, you haven't missed one, so I think that's really important that we rewatch them every time we review them, to give it a fair go, I think. So yeah.
2 episodes into season 7, how are you finding it?
Quite enjoyable actually, and I think it's just going to get funner and funner. It's such a nostalgic season. It really is. Like, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. No. It's just full of nostalgia, you know.
I totally agree. I think these first 2 episodes have maybe lacked substance, and they've just sort of maybe fallen into the big blockbuster side. But they've been a lot of fun, and that I've appreciated. And I do think it's, at least for these next 3 episodes, 4 including Snowmen, I think I'm gonna really enjoy all 4 of those. So that's a positive.
Yeah, even though Power 3 isn't fantastic, it still has a lot of standout moments for me, I think. So
yeah,
I think I agree. I'll be enjoying those a lot, you know. But yeah, it's first time in a long time I've been quite anticipated to get into like the season and actually really enjoy it for what it is, you know.
No, I agree. I'm the same.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, cool shit. Good shit.
Cool.
So that's episode 74 of our show. So that means next week we've got the 75, which I guess, you know, we're not really celebrating it, but we will have, I believe, Dylan on the show next week. So I guess that will be our little...
yeah, of course.
75 episodes. Whoa. 75 is not a big number. It's just halfway to 100.
This is
that's 50.
This is our last episode, just you and I, for 2 weeks. So we'll be back with just you and I for Angels Take Manhattan.
Angels Take Manhattan, yes, that's right. Yes, so yeah, Dylan's joining us next week for A Town Called Mercy, and then Dan will be on the show once again for The Power of Three.
Power of Three.
And then,
awesome.
And then Angels Take Manhattan, and then I reckon we'll have time for Snowmen, and then it'll probably then is when we'll be getting season 13. So hopefully we'll be timing that well.
Yeah, we'll try our best, obviously, but we don't know when it's coming out yet. But once we get a date, we'll be able to tell where we're going to fall.
We don't know.
We don't
know.
We simply don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows?
I have no idea. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
No, no idea.
No.
Absolutely no idea.
I was thinking as well that I reckon we're going to be very tight in terms of finishing season 7 by the end of the year. Because I was looking at the calendar then, and when the episode's coming out.
I know.
And if it does start on Halloween, then like come on, let's have a look at the calendar. Let's
figure this shit out.
Let's assault the calendar for a second here.
Why not?
So, so that means this episode that we recorded today on Monday the 20th of September will be coming out on the 27th of September. And then that means A Town Called Mercy will be coming out on the 4th of September. Power of Three will come out on the 11th of September. And Angels Take Manhattan will come out on the 18th of... Sorry, October is what I'm trying to say. 18th of October is when Angels Take Manhattan will come out. So, hopefully, we will then be able to have The Snowmen come out on the 25th of October. And then in an ideal world, our reviews for the new series will start on the 31st or the 1st, depending on when we get them out. And that will go up until the 5th/the 6th of December. And then we'll only really have, Bells of St. John on the 13th of December. And then Rings of Akatan. And then it's Christmas. So we might have to do a bit of doubling up on do a bit of quite a few double episodes of a week. I think
we did that last year.
We did every week of December, but this is going to have to be more than that.
I know, I was going to say that's bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the 50th anniversary special, spectacular, whatever. Oh, it's going to be huge. We haven't planned it, but it's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge when we get there.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah. So
biggest thing we've ever done.
We've got to figure that out. Sorry, I'm just listing off dates here that no one can relate to. But yeah, maybe we starting in November, along with the new season, we might have to review some of these episodes still, which I'm not against as long as we find the time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it'll be a bit of a squeeze on both of us, but I'm happy to commit.
Yeah. And I would have finished shooting my film then, so I'll be in post-production, which is far less meetings, a lot more stuff I can do online for that and things like that. So hopefully might be able to find a bit of time there to do a few double episodes, and we can bring you the best episode we've ever done in the Day of the Doctor.
Hell yeah. The special.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
God bless.
Cool. Let's wrap up. Sorry, that was a bit of just a boring ramble at the end of the episode. Connor, let's finish this song. Sing the song, Dad. Daddy-o.
Okay. Wow. Okay, Dad. All right.
Yeah.
And one and a two and a skiddly-diddly-doo. It's Aidan and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews on Spaceship. Doctor Who review.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Ayo. Miss the
Ayo. Hiya, folks. Just a quick one from me. This is the final old episode of the podcast to be uploaded over onto YouTube. So, over the last 2 years, we've been trying to get our entire back catalogue that was previously audio only, so on Spotify and stuff, onto YouTube. And we've been doing it sort of week by week. I've been dropping a couple episodes, and this is the last one of those. So if you were one of those lovely people that has been watching these old episodes and giving them a bit of an old life, a new life, then thanks for doing that. Love you. Appreciate you. And then this is the last one of those. So now if you've watched them all, you're up to date. If not, how you going? Go check out the other ones. And we've got new episodes coming out every Monday. And if you have made it this far, then maybe you can just write in the comments, Banana Boys. Write that down below, and I'll know that you are one of the precious, one of the chosen few. Probably no one has watched this, so I'm doing this for no reason. But yeah, thanks guys, and see you in a new episode. Bye bye.